guest today has landed at the top of the tower, widely regarded as one of the UK's most trusted authorities in the world of etiquette. And he's the author of 5 books, director of The English Manner, a leading UK etiquette training institute. He hosts the chart-topping podcast. It's called Help, I Sexted My Boss. Must tell you a story about that in a minute. Which boasts over 100 million listens, I should say. There's books, tours, live shows, and now heading out on a massive arena show. I mean, what a great success. William Hanson, you're most welcome.
Thank you for having me, Ryan.
And we're on the radio, but we have cameras going. Thankfully, they'll be able to see what you're wearing. Please tell us what you're wearing today.
Well, I'm wearing a navy roll neck, quite a light roll neck. I'm wearing navy trousers, but I think that the garment in question,
the pièce de résistance,
is it's a pink, sort of pale pink.
Yeah.
Some would say shacket. I wouldn't call it a shacket. I'd call it a zip up.
This is interesting because
I think shackets more have pockets, sort of more cargo-y.
William, how does one, get into the world of etiquette in the sense of it starts probably as a bit of an interest and develops it. But was it a moment or a process?
Well, I have no other talent, so this is basically this was it. Really,
well done.
My grandmother gave me a book of etiquette when I was 12 for Christmas. I eventually read it, and I found it very interesting and very funny, actually. And I bought more books on the subject. And then when I was 16 at school, they one of the teachers said to me, "Oh, we're looking for someone to teach the younger years how to set a table. Would you do it?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, does that mean I don't need to do rugby?" And they said, "Oh, yeah, you can do it instead of rugby." And nearly 18 years later, my career is one great big excuse not to do any sport.
We actually have more in common than I never realised.
Yes.
Because I did the same thing. Do you want to get involved in the charity work? Yes, I do. Why? A bit like that.
Exactly.
Because I want to help everyone, but also to get out
the
of sport.
The opposite was horrific. Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Your grandmother gave you the book at 12.
She did.
As a bookworm, I'm intrigued about your grandmother. What was her name?
She was called Kay, K-A-Y, or Granny, and to me.
Yeah, we'll call her Kay.
Yeah. And if you sort of imagine Maggie Smith's character in Downton Abbey go one up, that was Granny.
Turn Kay up to 11.
Yes, indeed. And no longer with us now, but she should have lived to see some of the success. So I think she obviously didn't give me this book thinking that it was going to launch a career.
Yeah, but these are the moments in life that you just don't realise are kind of game changers, that if she hadn't bought that book, maybe you wouldn't have gone where you went.
No, exactly, yes.
Can you give us a dictionary definition as much as you can of the word etiquette, what it means in 2025 particularly?
Etiquette is a series of suggested guidelines that vary from country to country and even within each country as to polite human interaction with other people.
Well, I think there's the world needs it more than ever because civil discourse has gone to seed and to pot. It's so depressing, and people have stopped. Like if you do doom scroll, if you do see things, the lack of beautiful conversation or good manners is striking and really sad. And dare I say it, to have a sociological moment, I think since COVID, things have gone even more pear-shaped. So do you have any observations on that as to where we are in terms of polite, decent conversation?
Yes, we are sort of ruder than we ever, or more intolerant than we ever have been, which is a great shame because it's not very pleasant for either us or anyone else. And I think it's a sign of how potentially insecure we collectively are, not just in Britain, I think throughout the world, that we feel the need to sort of shut down anyone that possibly thinks differently from us or has had a different life experience. And actually, if you're comfortable in yourself, either yourself singular or plural, you should actually accept the fact that life is different and we have to have people from all over the world with different experiences, beliefs, backgrounds. That is what makes the world tick. If we all thought the same, we'd go to hell in a handbasket.
And so that brings us then to the world of etiquette and being polite. In your podcast, which is doing, and I mean, as I said, you're doing arena tours now, so the appetite is there. And I'm intrigued to know where the appetite comes from vis-a-vis what element or what aspect of etiquette is most commonly brought to your attention for questioning and so forth.
Yeah, when we started Help, I Sexted My Boss 7.5 years ago, I do it with my very good friend Jordan North, who's a radio presenter, and he doesn't sound like me, for those that aren't aware of his work. He is from Lancashire and so has a Lancastrian accent. And
to put that into context for people who aren't from the UK.
Yeah. like these sounds like that basically, and that's what he sounds like, and it's uncanny, and I can't really do any of that. I can't do accents.
No, but I think you've probably done a good one there.
Yeah. He just sort of goes on about gravy quite a lot of the time.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we're in a yin and yang.
Yeah. He is working class basically. I'm going to rip that plaster off, and we sort of people write in with their modern etiquette dilemmas. So we're not doing on Sexted, as much as I would love to do this, which side should the oyster fork go on?
Yes.
We can, if you really want, write in, but we are doing what do you do if you do accidentally send a naughty message that's maybe meant for your loved one, and it goes to your boss because they share the same letter of the alphabet, etc. What is the gameplay?
Can I give you one?
Yes. Have you done this?
I did send a message to my former director general of the organisation I used to work in, which was, he sent a comment saying, "Well done on such and such a thing on a show I was doing," and I said, "Thanks a million, really appreciate it." And instead of doing full stop, I sent a big X for a kiss. And I really wasn't trying to kiss the man, and I wasn't trying to kiss any part of him because I wasn't trying to be a wise guy. It just sent by mistake, and it was must have been 15 years ago. So there weren't a lot of X's and kissing going on. So it was.
Well, it hasn't done your career any harm,
well,
has it?
You'd be surprised. But the bottom line is, I did it, and I did it. I was worried because I felt it was probably a bit forward. And the question was, do I text back afterwards and kind of wreck the moment and say, that was meant to be a full stop, or do you let's deal with it?
I think obviously if you send an absolutely explicit message, that's a different thing. But no, I think if you make it an issue and you then respond and say, that was meant to be full stop, etc., you're making it more of a thing.
Okay.
He may not even have noticed. He may not even have cared.
Or he might have been flattered.
Exactly. So, but if you suddenly go, "Oh gosh, I'm so sorry," etc., you are drawing more attention to it, and actually sometimes we can just move on. And also on his part, and this is a great thing that we don't have nowadays, is people can exercise the art of pretending not to notice. Not everything has to be commented upon. If someone breaks wind, we don't have to make a joke.
If
someone just ignore it. It's not pleasant, but you can just ignore it.
Okay, go on. If someone drops, you're going to say something else?
If someone drops a plate in a restaurant, you don't have to clap. You can just pretend not to notice. Just move on with your life.
I was having dinner with my partner on Friday, and a pint went on, a drink fell on someone's tab, and I said, "Please, can we just look out the window and just don't?" Because the inclination is to rubberneck, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I much prefer the other option, which is just nothing to see here. Let them just don't add to the embarrassment.
And I think you look more impressive generally if you do. I was doing something a few weeks ago in another part of the UK, I won't say where just in case it identifies it, and the person who was interviewing me, it was a live sort of stage sort of Q&A thing as part of a festival, their mobile phone went off.
The person interviewing?
Yes, it was just two of us on stage.
Okay, there for the grace of God go all of us, but
and I thought I could draw attention to this.
Yes.
We've all noticed in this theatre. There's no way of pretending that hasn't happened. I will just keep talking and let them deal with it. And I thought, actually, I'm so glad I did that and not sort of gone for the laugh or even admonished them, which I'm always sort of quite careful of admonishing people in public, particularly in front of everyone else.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. So that's a dignified approach.
I'd like to think so. I very rarely do I sort of pat myself on the back, but afterwards I thought, well done me. The audience clearly knew that I had noticed.
Everyone was here, you're not deaf,
Yeah. But I just and I slightly slowed because I was a bit like, what do I do? But no, you don't. Not everything has to be commented upon.
I love that. Well, try telling the internet. But
don't.
In a nutshell, sometimes when people go to a wedding or a 21st and you're organising it, you might be the birthday girl or you might be the groom, and people become a little
needy.
For information. I was telling you the story. I might as well tell our listeners that I was working at my computer one day and I was making no progress, and I said, "I don't know how this works." And one of my colleagues, very, very lovely person, turned around and said, "That's because you're suffering from learned helplessness. You won't fix. You don't know how to do it yourself." And people fall into that trap.
They do, and they sort of we've got information. It's so easy. It's never been easier to access all this information. In fact, we have too much information probably at our fingertips.
Yes.
But a phrase that a friend that was getting married recently said to me that she would sort of say when and actually for her wedding she had about 200 people going to it, so it was quite a big wedding. Sort of very politely sort of either texting or saying back, all the information that's available to me is available to you.
Oh yeah, that's great.
It's lovely because again, you cannot be personal concierge to all 200 wedding guests.
I love that. Dogs in cafes, yes or no?
Well, if the cafe allows it, as long as they're well behaved. There are dogs and there are dogs. If there are dogs running about, no. Because also people have got hot drinks. There's a safety implication. I mean, we'll put the hygiene a bit aside. But if you have, like, I've got a friend, Jonathan, whose dogs are immaculately behaved. They don't go on leads. So you can just say stop, and the dog stops. I mean, brilliantly trained. Those sort of dogs, fine. They should be allowed anywhere. Okay. Dogs that are feral, no.
Okay, and for dogs, say children, same rules apply.
Yes, in fact, I'd promise I'd rather a dog than a child sometimes.
Carol's been on mornings. Great show as always. Please, can you ask William, what is the etiquette regarding wine brought by dinner guests? Should you open or use what you had planned? What if they bring a better bottle? It happened recently, so I kept theirs and had it all to myself, obviously, and served the plonk. I'll just add that in myself, Carol.
Yes, good question, Carol. I would say anything that a guest turns up with, whether it's chocolates, wine, champagne, flowers, it's a gift for you, the hosts, not for the party.
Oh, great.
If you wish to then serve it, you look at it and you go, wow, that's an amazing bottle of wine, or, oh, shoot, I've actually forgotten to get some red, I've only got white. You can do, once it's out of their hands and in yours, you can do what you like with it. You can open it, but you shouldn't, as a guest, you shouldn't bring it thinking, I'm bringing it because I'd quite like to have that.
The cereal Tupperware with warmed up salmon, trout, or last night's fish in the microwave in the office every Tuesday and Thursday.
No, that is pathological.
Okay, well...
No, those sort of people should be marched out the building and have their security passes cut up, if I'm honest.
I think defenestration will be another option.
Exactly, and you're on the 17th floor at the moment.
Listen, we've lost a few salmon munchers here. But tell me this, William, how do we approach such criminals, gastronomic criminals? How do we delicately handle it, or do you just go all in?
I'm getting a bit more direct at my old age, so I'd probably go up and go, could you just not do that, please?
And they'll say, how dare you? It's my dinner from last night. It's fish. What's wrong with you?
Or go and, if, let's say, you don't like, I know, the accounts department, although, I mean, they're the ones that pay you, so it's probably not best to go and use their kitchen and heat it up over there.
Yes, here. On public transport, the phone is out, but the headphones aren't in, and all you hear is sort of it happened to me on the plane yesterday, and I don't know what actually, the poor woman, she was looking, it was a self-help guide, I know that much ago. You are going to be very, very powerful. It's working. So that's fine, whatever floats your boat. But she had her headphones in. I think she thought she was listening to it. Yeah, but we'll give her a pass. But broadly speaking...
Yes, in that instance, if she's got the headphones and they're not connected, I think you can just go, it's not coming through the headphones.
It's learned helplessness.
But no, people that are listening, watching TikTok videos or just watching films without headphones, no, those sort of people, it is pandemic now. Everyone is doing it. And again, we've got our phones can do that. Just because they can do it doesn't mean to say we should. So I want to come up with sort of disposable little headphones that you can just pass out. Again, passive aggressive, and go, would you like these?
I think you're more passive than aggressive. I don't think you're unpleasant. I think I know what passive aggressive looks like, and it's really unpleasant. I think you're trying to better the world rather than be by being aggressive. I prefer there's a benign look at what you're talking about.
Thank you. That's very kind.
I have to give you that. There's another one, kidnapping, by which I mean I'll jump in quickly by talking about technological kidnapping. I always feel like I've been bag over the head and bundled into a white van when somebody adds me to a WhatsApp group I wasn't asked to.
Oh, yeah. You can change your settings.
Tell me everything.
There is a way that you can go into your WhatsApp settings.
Tell me.
Don't ask me what the settings are. Okay. I'll do it for you in a minute if you want, but go into your settings and you can change it where you aren't automatically added into groups.
Am I happy I came to work today?
There we go.
What a beautiful day.
Unless WhatsApp have changed that setting in the last couple of months, which, could have happened.
I love that.
I believe that's the thing.
Helen says, what a lovely guest. He's sharing ideas on being thoughtful and considerate rather than being pernickety and censorious. Don't do this, don't do that. Yeah, so it's a much nicer...
Well, I think so. It's just suggested guidelines, and I'm grateful that actually, whether it's sort of some of the videos I do on Instagram or with Sexted the podcast, that actually over the last 7.5 years, people have generally got to know me a little bit better than when I've done 3 minutes on this morning or whatever, where I might come across like a stick in the mud. So at least, and that's the nice thing with radio or podcasts, is it's much more intimate, and people can get to know the real you.
I was in a quiet part of the airport yesterday, and suddenly, for whatever, it became nut o'clock, everyone decided it was time to eat nuts and crisps. And not quietly, and to the point that the book I was reading thankfully featured Gregorian chants, so I actually put on some. I'm not joking. I actually put it into my head because it's a crime novel, but they were in a monastery, and I found my zen again. Can we talk about that
Gregorian chants?
No, I'm happy to do that too.
No, please not.
Well, we'll move off that. But people, the nuts and crisps people, and I eat both, by the way.
Yes,
generally quite privately, but public eating of that. And my kind of irritation at that is that me being Larry David and impatient and improbably rude, or is there a time and a place for a nut and a crisp?
Yeah, when you're around other people, I would say, in close proximity, particularly in quiet environments.
There's the compromise.
Theatres, for example. In fact, actually, Michelle Williams off of Destiny's Child, who's starring in Death Becomes Her on Broadway at the moment, posted a video on her Instagram over the weekend of her with a crisp packet saying, this is what because she starts the show and she stands right in front, this is what I hear. And she's there moving this crisp packet, and she says, "You didn't even ask if I'd like some." I mean, it's a great video, and I thought it's phenomenal.
It sums it all up beautifully.
Packaging should be made quieter.
I know.
I don't know why these companies don't do it, particularly for theatres, planes, trains.
And automobiles.
Yes.
It's got to be said. William Hanson, do come and see us again, please.
I would love to.
I really enjoyed that.
Thank you,
We just scraped the surface in a polite and not passive aggressive way.
Indeed.
Help I Sexted My Boss, the arena tour kicking off in March. Good luck with it. It's going to be a wonderful success. Tickets are on sale now. Your latest book, Just Good Manners, is also available to people who enjoyed this conversation very, very much. I think that's a book that you're going to need in your life. And talking, as William does, about passive aggression, giving that book, much like William's grandmother, to her maybe ne'er-do-well grandson at the age of 12, that life-changing move might be one for you to give as a book to somebody else. Okay, thank you very much. Lovely to see you.
Bless you. Thank you.
Virgin Radio.